Well, good morning and welcome. And if you had a little sense of something in the air in here, it was really bad an hour ago. It was a skunk. Somehow the air got in here. So we've been airing it out. We have the air conditioners running and the doors open. So it's much, much better. So anyway, just to let you know, we are really happy to have Dalton and Judy here this morning. And please, your wonderful music.
I sometimes don't know me, and there you are to show me. You hold the child inside, the man I've longed to be. And in my darkest nights, you're the light so I can see. All that I am is magic, created before time began. Oh, how I love the way you love all I am. Who am I to question all the gifts I've been given? And now the part of me I didn't want to face has become the very thing that gives me strength. All that I am is magic, created before time began. Oh, how I love the way you love all I am. What a wonderful thing to realize. I find myself looking in your eyes, 'cause all that I am is magic, created before time began. Oh, how I love the way you love all I am, created before time began. Oh, how I love the way you love all I am. You show me how to love. All that I am.
Some days are just like that, just like magic. All right, I'm Reverend Dr. Mary Mitchell, and I'm a staff minister now and supporting Reverend Sue, who is visiting grandchildren in the Bay Area today. So we're really happy for her to be able to get away. Here at the center, our vision, we inspire and empower people to live spiritually fulfilling lives. And we have some great fall classes coming up that will help you do that. So we hope you partake in those. Right now, we have a time to greet the people who are watching us online. So Dave's got the camera. If you turn around and wave to everybody. They may be down the street, across the nation, Washington, who knows where they're from, but we appreciate you watching. And we're all here enjoying this program. It's good to be back. Thank you, Dave. I'd like to thank Dave and Lindy for being here early and getting the sound team up and running. And Doug and Ronnie are here as ushers and greeters. And Dave Forseth is their board member at the board desk. If you have any questions, Dave's the go-to person today. And we're happy to have you, Dave. Thank you. All right, if you have any electronic devices here in the center, we'd appreciate it if you would turn them off. We don't mind you having them on at home. Know how important those calls are. And if you're new with us today, we have a friendship packet for you. Anyone new here in the hall today? One over here. All right, with a child. Two. Ronnie, have you got two? Okay, great. Over here. Raise your hand again so he can see where you are. Thank you. And if you'd like to have a little tour of our facilities afterwards, I'd be happy to do that with you. And you have a daughter. We have a children's program too. And I'm sure she'll really enjoy it. All right, some focus announcements. There is an ongoing used book sale in the social hall, so take a look there. One of our board members, Christy Carr, got it started. She said, she loves to buy books all year round. She said, 2 book sales aren't enough. Let's do it all the time. So if you want to give some books to it, you're happy to do that. For over a year now, on Wednesdays, we've had a Zoom call with anyone who wanted to kind of check in with each other. It's so fun because we usually share, how are your tomatoes growing? How's your garden growing? And a lot of other fun things. So if you'd like to join that group, it lasts for about an hour at 11 a.m. Wednesday. And Lori is in the office today, and if you need that Zoom connection, she will be happy to give it to you. Lori is very valuable in our office. She writes the awareness newsletter, and this Thursday morning is the awareness folding team gathering. Now, we send out about 500 or 600 newsletters, and they're 11 by 17 folded, taped. So if you'd like to help do that, we'd appreciate your help. It's from 8 to 10 in the morning in the social hall. And there you also get to find out how Judy's granddaughter's cow is doing, or, fun things like that. I have a lot of fun talking about what's up with people and families. So you're welcome to join us. And for the upcoming classes, you can sign up online. Hallelujah. And that's a brand new thing recently, and we're really happy that we can do that. We have a congregational support team for people who could use a meal, who have been in the hospitals, maybe somebody had a baby or they're sick. And Lynette Willis leads that, and she could use some volunteers. Sometimes it's a meal, sometimes driving someone to a doctor appointment, how we can help each other. So if you'd like Lynette's contact information, Lori is the go-to person again for that. And if you're a book lover like I am, and I always buy my books on Amazon Smile or the bookstore, but on Amazon Smile, the center gets a small percentage of that purchase. And it's fun because Jill Ward and I, we see who's competing for the most money for the center because of all the books we're buying. So it's a great way to contribute, and it's very easy. Every day, Lori, again, puts a positive thought online to anyone who wants one in their mailbox. And she picks it from very inspired writers all over the world. But she's been doing this for years, and it's her seva. It's her way of bringing positivity into your life every day. You can sign up. It says sign up at Google Groups. You better ask Lori about that. I wouldn't know how to do that. Okay, we have a reading that will be by Craig Boyer, and then I'll invite the bell, and I'll just come up and do a prayer for you who are new. We call our prayer spiritual mind treatments because sometimes our mind just needs a little correction. So I'll be doing that. And then we have Reverend Lynn Fritz here. Now, Reverend Lynn is a really special person in my life because when she worked at Roseburg Lumber Company long time ago, and I worked at the Wheelabrator power plant in Anderson. Anyway, we met and became fast friends. And the children. Thank you. I'll get right to that, Judy. Hold, just another second. So anyway, I was excited Lynn was here. Anyway, she said to me one day, "Why are you always so calm?" And I said, "Well, you won't believe this philosophy I found." And she said, "Tell me about it." And man, she came in, boom, practitioner, minister, ordained. She's amazing. She has her own radio show, and she's just a fascinating person. But first, we're going to invite the children up. And if you would like to come up, and Mom, you can come up with her, because we will sing to you. Well, she'll stay there, so, and it's called, "You Are the Face of, I Am the Face of God, You Are the Face of God." You're the face of God, I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. And now you may go out with the teachers, and as you can see, they're ready for you. We've just opened up the children's program, and we have teachers that are learning, teachers that have been here a while, and they're very excited to. And Mom, you can go along. And if you haven't been out to the children's cottage, it's newly carpeted. It looks beautiful. There's some painting on the wall. It's really, really nice. All right. Thank you, Judy. That was totally appropriate. Now I'm lost. All right. I think it's time for the reading, Craig. Come on up.
These are quotes from the Science of Mind textbook. When we get into the field of the mind, there is no past, there is no present, there is no future. They merge into one medium. We are bound by nothing except our beliefs. Consciousness, in this sense, means an inner embodiment of our ideas. We have as much of this power to use as we believe in and as we embody it.
There is only one infinite intelligence, one universal field of energy in which we all exist. We call it many names. For me, infinite intelligence works. But whatever you call this higher power, it's as close as your breath. It's positive, it's good, and it's there for you at every moment. And what we've learned through this philosophy we call the science of mind is that it has great staying power when we learn and practice the principles: love, oneness, kindness, peace, beauty, joy, all these things that are made of the goodness of God. And so this morning we explore that staying power with Reverend Lynn, knowing her wisdom will seep it deeply into our hearts and give us a new approach to living life with the One. So I'm so grateful for this philosophy, for the people all here today to listen, whether you're here in person or not. It's a precious day. And miracles may happen. We know that's always possible. So in gratitude, I say thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. And let it be so. And together we can say, and so it is. Thank you. Reverend Lynn.
Thank you, Mary. Good morning, Center for Spiritual Living, Reading and beyond. It's nice to be home. This is my spiritual home. I entered ministry here and traveled that road with delightful friends. And so I come to you, early childhood, apostolic faith, Baptist, Nazarene, visited lots of different Christian churches. Then a season of time with Jehovah's Witnesses, Assembly of God. Then I felt called by Spirit and an invitation by a friend to come to the Center for Spiritual Living, then known as Reading Church of Religious Science. Man, that's been a long time ago. So I've been a psychotherapist for 20 years. And Mary and I met, as she described, when I was in the timber industry and she was at Wheelabrator. Long time, long journey together. Good journey. It's important to know our spiritual legacy and to honor it. So our theme today comes from the global focus from the Centers for Spiritual Living, Golden, Colorado, our home. And that theme is stayed. So I want you to notice something. This is the global vision for today's topic. This is the statement they released to go out universally around the globe, which I think is awesome. We see a world in which every person lives in alignment with his or her spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection. Important thing there, connection with each other. A world in which individually and collectively we're called to a higher state of consciousness, and the important thing here, an action. This stayed concept, we will be talking not only about the importance of spiritual practice, but how that practice should move us into the world, into action. And I know that for those of us that have been in the teaching for a while, spiritual practice is the core of who we are. And that is what we encourage, because before we can create change in the world, it must begin with us. The affirmation they ask us to work with is, Spirit is powerfully flowing as me. So let's repeat that together. Spirit is powerfully flowing as me. Now the add-on I'm going to ask you to do after this, as you enter the month of August, is I am an agent for change. So let's say it again. Spirit is powerfully flowing as me. I am an agent of change. So I would like to share with you one concept of what it means to be an agent of change. It's someone who sees a problem in their community, large or small, and does something to take action for substantial change. Now, we look around the world today and we go, whoa, there's a lot of things we need to work on. Our focus should be to be stayed on spirit, which the challenge with that is not only to do it intellectually, but as we study the Science of Mind textbook, Earnest Holmes, the founder, said, we also must do a connection emotionally for it to be effective. So the big focus here on stayed also means that we're embodying the teaching. So that means every cell and even that life energy that lives within us So part of what I ask us to do today is to ask ourselves, have I embodied the teaching 100%? And if I don't feel I've embodied it 100%, where am I in my spiritual journey and unfoldment? Because the encouragement is to embody it 100%. What I especially love about this tradition is that it's accepting and open for all. And so I'm bicultural. My mother's Swedish and my dad is Native American. And so I'm a Native American spiritual practitioner as well as an ordained minister. And so it's open for us to have unique experience of spirit. You don't have to throw out what you've learned spiritually. In fact, you can continue throughout your spiritual journey and lifetime to continue to add. We're really the teaching that says, what is your unique relationship to the sacred, to God, to spirit? And I think that is the strength of this tradition. One of the things that they ask us, there's 3 different points that they want us to focus on when we talk about stayed in spirit. That's being stayed in spirit means we're flowing. I always think of the Sacramento River as flowing. It's continuous. Nothing ever ceases. It may go down a little bit, but it may come up, but it continues to flow endlessly. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I find myself when I encounter challenges in life, the flow might get a little smaller. So the call is reconnect myself by my spiritual practice so we keep that flow enhanced. So coming again back to self, how am I at this moment, this day, with that flow? Am I operating at 100%? So the very first point they want us to consider is we are channels of flow as agents of change. Channels, it's an important concept. Spirit will flow through us, and that flow will cause us to take action. Action in our individual lives and action in our world. So we must ask ourselves on our spiritual journey, how am I showing up in the world? What action am I taking to create change? That change may first of all be in our own life, rightly so, our family, our community here, our community at large. So think of that as not only a channel, but a channel that creates action. That's the first point they ask us to consider. The second point, in every situation, we are in the channel and flow of spirit. And it says that everything in life, jobs, relationships, we're playing the piano, we're speaking, we're listening, everything is a channel. All of life is a channel. If we could see it, there'd be all this energy around us. Sometimes we can feel it. We certainly had an active demonstration of it this morning with a skunk. That's a flow of energy, isn't it? Flow of cool air, flow of warm air coming in. There's a flow, constant flow. So we must realize that we can either stop that flow, enhance that flow, relate to that flow. Let's think of 50 people in this room. We're all flowing. And then when we come together in this room, there's another flow that happens that's unique because we're in this room flowing together. Then we add the flow that's sent out from this space out into community, wherever, could be around the globe, listening. And there's added flow. So the question remains, what is my flow? How is my flow? Is it healthful? Does it need to be improved? Can I improve it? The third point, our minds, our bodies, our very being and consciousness is to be stayed on spirit. Stayed on spirit. One of the quotes that I really liked is the author of the suggested topic this morning said, "We are not reaction to what's going on. We are creation." It's very easy to get bogged down in what we see happening in the world and feel hopeless, overwhelmed, impossible task. We know right now that climate change is a concern. Look at our wildfires. Look at that 3-mile trash island in the Pacific. And personally, look at the wildfires. Every summer. Didn't used to be like that. The Redwoods, I was over there recently visiting, and they're very, very dry. They're talking about watering the redwoods. It's the only place in the world that the redwoods are left is on the West Coast, Northern California predominantly. They used to be in China. There's a petrified redwood stump in Yellowstone. Things are changing, and there are natural evolutions of the climate, but what we're in is not a natural evolution. It's the impact of our relationship to our environment. We also look at hate that is showing up in our nation, hate around the world. And so what's important for us to remember, you hear it continuously from this podium. Spiritual practice, spiritual practice, spiritual practice. Because what we know is if we can stay in our spiritual practice and embody that teaching, embody that consciousness, embody that flow, it is the greatest contribution we can have to healing our world. I also want to share with you the work of a gentleman known as Dan Siegel. Anybody know Dan Siegel? A few of you do. He's an amazing teacher, graduate of Harvard. He is at UCLA. He's a professor there, researcher. He has an organization called Mind Sight Institute. Brilliant man, very spiritual man. One of his best friends is Jack Kornfield, the Buddhist psychologist. So he is one of the best known authors on interpersonal neurobiology. Interpersonal neurobiology. Science and philosophy has avoided and actually have stated that we cannot define mind and should not define mind. But it makes it really impossible to talk about unless you have some sort of concept of what mind is. It's fascinating to me in 1920s that Earnest Holmes was structuring a tradition that focused on the importance, the significance, the value of the mind in creating healing. I would love Dan Siegel and Earnest Holmes to be able to get together because I think there'd be an amazing conversation about mind. So from Dan Siegel, he describes mind as relating to our inner subjective experience. Inner subjective experience, which is unique to all of us. And the process of being aware, the process of being conscious. So no one else in this lifetime, before or after, will have the same exact experience. We are all unique. And science looks for that. Where's that in the body, in the brain? Where is that? They continue to look for consciousness, to look for mind. cannot find it. Kind of mystical, isn't it? I think that's why we can say we are magic. He also goes on to say, mind is a process that regulates the flow of energy and information within our bodies, and notice this, within our relationships. It's a little different, isn't it? So he also emphasizes health and wellness. It's the purpose of his. He works with trauma to help people heal, but he also works on prevention to understand how we function. I appreciate him giving a working definition because it allows us to talk about who we are and what we're about. So let's think about this relational process and the embodiment. We talked about it briefly. Embodying is making ourselves 100% in that flow, in that connection with spirit. So I ask us, each of us, to say, is that my goal? Do I want to be 100% in that flow? Mary mentioned it when she was talking. She said, love, kindness, compassion. Hopefully we do want to be in that flow. What it means to be the best of human, what we describe as sacred human. Certainly know in this day and age, we need that flow, don't we? And that kind of flow that is healthful. So relational. Relational is a little different concept. I think Earnest Holmes described it in his teachings. Dan Siegel is saying, if Mary and I are in conversation, I have a mind, she has a mind, and what he is saying is that there exists in that conversation a third mind that we create by our collaboration in that moment. So if we think of ourselves here, say there's 50. We don't know how many are out there in online land, but the 50 in this room and myself, 51, and we are creating another mind that's unique to this circumstance, this moment in time. Now let's imagine that the mind that I'm presenting is a color of red. Each of us have a color so that we can describe the uniqueness. So all these colors are out here mixing. But let's say there's a lot of red in the room. Red representing that energy of being in the flow of spirit, the healthful. And if we get a lot of red going, what happens? What becomes the dominant color if there's lots of red? What color do we end up with predominantly? Red. That's the impact and influence we can have through our consciousness when we show up in any group. That energy, that flow, that love, that kindness can change the very state of the room, the very state of our world. We are agents of change. That's the action we are called to. The world needs us. Of course, balanced with that is our humility, compassion, and equality for all. I want to share with you a video. And this video is a little bit challenging because it shows the woes of our world. I want to read you the lyrics in case it's difficult for you to hear it. This was done in 1982. What about sunrise? What about rain? Isn't it something we question right now? What about all the things that you said we were to gain? What about killing fields? Is there a time? What about all the things that you said was yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice all the blood we've shed before? Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth, these weeping shores? What have we done to the world? Look what we've done. What about all the peace that you pledge your only son? What about the flowering fields? Is there a time? What about all the dreams that you said was yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice all the children dead from war? Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth, these weeping shores? I used to dream. I used to glance beyond the stars. Now I don't know where we are, although I know we've drifted far. Hey, what about yesterday? What about the seas? The heavens are falling down. I can't breathe. What about apathy? I need you. What about nature's worth? It's our planet's womb. What about animals? We've turned kingdoms to dust. What about the elephants? Have we lost their trust? What about crying whales ravaging the seas? What about the forest trails burnt despite our pleas? What about the Holy Land torn apart by creed? What about the common man? Can't we set him free? What about children dying? Can't you hear them cry? Where did we go wrong? Someone tell me why. What about baby boy? What about the days? What about all their joy? What about the man? What about the crying man? What about Abraham? What about death again? Do we give a damn? I want you to notice how you feel when you go through the video. And at the end, I propose to you is what happens when we bring in the flow of spirit. We can prevent these things from happening, and we can heal the things that have happened. So pay attention to how you feel. I'm going to talk with you briefly at the end. How you doing? Pretty intense, isn't it? We must be that flow of spirit. We must take ourselves, that love, compassion, kindness, equality, to our world, to be part of the healing. You saw what was possible. It showed you in the video, trees being restored, animals being restored, preventing it from even happening in the first place. So I want to hear from you. What'd you feel? I want to hear words from you. What was that? Pain. Hope. What was it? Breath. What was that? Ability. We can make a difference. And it takes us out of our comfort zone to go out there into community. But it's important to do because they need us. The world needs that love. The hate that we see, remember what Dr. King said? Hate does not drive out hate. Only love can heal. So many hate groups in the United States right now. We must be that love. And it begins with us. It begins with our families. It begins with our neighbors. It begins in Redding, California, Shasta County. Call to action. To be in the flow. Allow it to flow through us. So invite us into prayer. And invite you, if you're comfortable, to close your eyes. And this is our prayer. Great Spirit, Holy One, Creator of all that is, that infinite intelligence, infinite beauty, the solace for our souls and our suffering. I am created in your image and likeness. We are created in your image and likeness. And today we remember the importance of staying the course, of allowing our spiritual practice to connect with you, to be that love, compassion, peace, truth, equality in the world. We are the agents of change. So we step forward from the comfort of our homes and the comfort of our lives and seek places that need light, that need healing. We are magic. Just our presence, our consciousness, without even speaking a word, is transformative. We emanate compassion. So we this day remember our purpose, the calling of spirit, the global consciousness for the centers of spiritual living that calls us to reach out to others. And for this purpose and this knowing, we give thanks. We are powerful beyond measure. We create beauty by means of who we are in that flow of spirit. So I give thanks for each one here and each one tuning in to this conversation today, that we may be uplifted, realize that despite the pain that we see in the world, there is great hope by means of your spirit, channel of change, the flow of spirit that heals. And we bring that to the world. We bring love. And for this, we give great thanks. and for each one. Together we send this prayer forth through this room, through our community, our county, our state, our nation, across the one ocean, across our globe and into the cosmos. We release it with love, compassion, equality. And so it is. Amen. So as you leave here today, remember, let's say that affirmation together again. Spirit is powerfully flowing as me. I am an agent of change. Here we go. Spirit is powerfully flowing as me. I am an agent of change. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living.
This is here, this is now, this is what it's all about. This is now, this is here, and it's very clear. I can see my life. From this point in time, I can see my path. From this point in time, and I know the way is to make this moment shine. Here and now, to make this moment shine. This is here, this is now, this is what it's all about. This is now, this is here, and it's very clear. Oh, I can see my life. From this point in time, I can see my path. From this point in time, and I know the way is to make this moment shine. Here and now, to make this moment shine. Here and now, make this moment shine.
That was awesome. I feel like I have to share something with you. Years ago, when I was taking ministerial training here under Dr. James Golden, he said, okay, you think you're a minister, you think you deserve to be a minister, I want you to go to your workplace tomorrow and walk into the room and change the consciousness of the room. We went, what? He said, you can do it. If you work in an atmosphere where somebody's complaining, where somebody's being negative, where things are going wrong, you can change the atmosphere of the room and everybody in it. And we came back with miraculous stories of doing that. And you can do it too. Every day I wake up and I say, what's mine to do today? What's mine to contribute today? Because I see the world as this pot of water that's very dark. And it's going to take a lot of clean water pumping through that to change it. And so every day when I come across negativity, oh, that's what's mine to do. Let's change that. When I hear my husband, who's been very sick, complaining, I go, you're getting better every day. And he goes, what? What is ours to do? Are we contributing to negativity? Are we contributing to complaining? Or are we lifting people up? That was your message. It's a good message. All right, I'm done. Oh, that's why I love this teaching. I love it. I love it, love it. That's what's mine to do. All right, it's time for our offering. And we have an affirmation that I invite you to repeat after me. Gratefully, I give with an attitude of abundance.
Gratefully I give an attitude of abundance.
For I know as I give, I do receive.
For I know as I give, I do receive.
All right. And as we pass the baskets, are we going to have our... Okay, great. We're going to sing together, I am so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Oh, what a blessed song that is. It feels so good to sing that because we can feel it in our hearts. And we can feel that these gifts given this morning with love feed this center and all who enter. Thank you, Spirit, for bringing out the generosity in everyone here and everyone listening. It feels so good to give because we know as we give, we do receive in ways that are sometimes absolutely miraculous. So we say thank you, Spirit, for bringing us here, whether it's online or here personally together today, this morning, to hear Lynn's incredible message and ask what is mine to do and receive the grace from that. Thank you, God, and so it is. All right. We're going to close with the Practitioner Affirmation. And you know this one. So please say it after me. There is only one life.
There's only one life.
That life is God's life.
That life is God's life.
And that life is perfect.
That life is perfect.
And that life is my life now.
That life is my life now.
It's your life too, by the way, so you can say that. There's only one life.
There's only one life.
That life is God's life.
That life is God's life.
That life is perfect.
That life is perfect.
Hand on your chest, that life is my life now.
That life is my life now.
All right. If you would like a prayer, I'll be here by the bell. And if our new people would like a tour, come and we'll also find a way to give you a tour around the property. It's quite amazing. And are we having a closing song? All right, Dalton, close us out.
Just before you go, please stand up and sing with me. If you don't know this song, you will soon, because it just goes round and round in a song, in a circle rather. All good, holy, holy. All good, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is good, holy, holy. All good, holy, holy. All good, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is good, holy, holy. All love now, all love, holy, holy. All love, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is love, holy, holy. All God now, all God, holy, holy. All God, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is God, holy, holy. That's why all is one now, all one, holy, holy. All one, holy, holy. I said, all in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is one, holy, holy. All good, one more time now. All good, holy, holy. Let me hear you now. All good, holy, holy. I said, all in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is good, holy, holy. I said, all in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is good, holy, holy.